Got 5 minutes till news out of Australia here. But I'm actually not trading the Australian dollar, I'm just trading the euro dollar. And just because there'll be some fallout into, there's some spillover into the euro. So just went long the euro here. And we're tempting this, the high of the day on the 5 minute. So I'm just going to go long, and then I'm going to go short immediately above it. So I'm going to scalp it, sell it off the top here. I guess I used up my maximum orders. I thought I'd fix that by deleting some, but apparently not enough. Okay, there you go. Selling up there, and on this demo, I just went pretty hog long on this. The script that I posted that has the 8 pip scalp built in here to that 30K, and that's my kind of just get her done order. Of course, as soon as we come up here, I'm going to be selling. So I'm trading it both sides towards the middle, and I think it goes down about 18 grand at one point. So I'm up 8 grand here, and I got in too early on this pullback here. Now for the 4-hour traders, they would have definitely banked a lot of buckaroos had they waited for the comeback to that top bottom of the 4-hour. But okay, so we're just trying to poke through the high of the day here, and I'm in $4,000 of margin, just trying to pick up a few bucks here. That news is coming out. I'm going to go to the Australian dollar just for a peek, and I do think gold's going up. I just talked to a gold trader, and he said that gold's going down, but I think the stop hunt's over for gold. I do think gold's going to go up at least 50 bucks or something. That's if it holds this, right? But the reason why I think gold's going up now is because of this trend line here, and this one's too steep to sustain. And there's the tick chart of gold. And here comes the news. Here's the Australian dollar, and that is, I'm going to go to the 15 minutes. And you just would have been long the Australian dollar on just sheer market structure here. I don't even trade this thing, but obviously you'd be buying here and there. That's why news is garbage. That's why risk on, risk off is garbage. It's all garbage because all that matters is the technical entry. It just, you know, it doesn't even, trend don't even matter, right? Just the structure entry matters. It's all that matters. And, you know, nothing else matters. Oh, yeah, your stop. You got to have a stop. Okay, here the euro's poking through the high. And we just took out the high of the day by like a half a pip here. And I'm going to ride it up for, just let them fill me on these sells. The news is coming up in just like 1 minute here. Okay, this is the demo account. We should go up. And so we're all the way back to where we were. Isn't it funny that after we clipped this and ripped it all the way back to here, and now we're all the way back up there again. So very rangy market. Okay, attempting to get out here on the scalps because the news is coming out in 45 seconds. And I don't know what the looks like this is going to punch up. Go to the 4-hour. We're already poised for, we already got our top bottom signal right here in the 4-hour Australian dollar. And we got to fix the scale there so I can stretch it. So if you drill down on this structure here, you can see the ricochet off the previous top. Not to say that you can't come flying back when the news comes out here. I don't know how big this news is. Okay, 10 seconds to news. The news is home loans, right? It's a medium news. Okay, home loans, I'm expecting it to pop up. I go to the tick chart of that. Alright, news is out. Pretty boring. I expect it to pop up, right? I think I'm going to take profits on my... I'm going to get out of this. So I'm selling this because I think they're going to rip it back. and I'm getting out of all my longs there. Okay, so scalping out of that, and I must still be long something, or I must have sold up into that. I don't know. Take a look. Yeah, apparently I'm still short. So I'm short from those. I had some up on the top there. So I got out of the longs. I'm slightly short. And I want to buy in pullbacks now. So now I want to get in here, and if you got time to trade these 5-minute charts, there's just more money and less risk and more fun. It's like that Fleetwood Mac song, you make loving fun. Well, you make trading fun on the 5-minute. And Australian dollar. To me, the trade's already over, right? I'm selling there. I scalped out. Who cares? Okay, next issue's back to this thing. So I think I got trapped in these longs up here. I must have hit the wrong key, or those are longs from, I don't know how I got caught in that. Anyways, I want to buy more on this pullback. I might hit the wrong button. Okay, now this account was down at $380. I'm not even kidding you. Now I'm at $2,800. Same account. Just the magic of stops, you know, and the magic of you know, risk to reward ratios. Nobody wants to take an account down to a margin call, right? But it happens, you know, especially if you're impatient, which I think I'm very impatient and very irritable and very I'm pissed off trader, really. I've been burned too many times by these market maker antics, so I just decided I'm gonna, instead of I'll be Terryton smokers, instead of fighting, I'm gonna join them. I'll have a black eye all day long. Okay, I don't mind being long here, I guess, because it's going up. Actually, I want to get a little bit long because I put those pennies up and I don't want to move them. I want to stick with my sell program on the north side here. And let me just take off some of these old orders that I have at the bottom that are going to last 2 hours. But I really don't want them now. I like that door slam. The MT4's patented door slam. I think you'd probably change the sample for that. Let's hope, right? The wave file there. Door slam. Just sounds so final. Okay, now I'm placing my basket of orders on the north side here to sell. And I'm going to stay up all night on this one. This is the last day of the week, so I'm really up for the all this scalping I think that's going to happen here. Another attempt to take out, I'll come up and hit this bear zone up here. So put all sell orders up there, and I have put a crop of buy orders down here, and I don't really care what happens. You know, carefree, not careless trading, and yeah. So I don't know what happened with that news. Whatever, who cares, right? I'd be selling that Australian if I was trading it, but I'm not. Here's a structure I built a long time ago, and I haven't actually been back to. This is the daily euro versus the yen. And here you can see where you would sell if the break of that, right? And you had the blue, so it was okay to be short. And I guess if you extended this out, you can see how that keys off of that, and then this is so I always figure build a structure out in the future. That way you can always you know, it's like you built a house into the future, and you definitely want to be selling right up into that, right? Because it's the new pivot. Let's just do a quick rundown. Here's the one that one of Jason Stapleton's underlings decided he was going to sell the, I still don't understand this trade, but he posted last week he was going to sell the Canadian dollar up here. Well, I just don't know why he just didn't go to the 4-hour chart and just jump on the long train back here, you know, on this structure pivot without it using anything fancier than pulls back to support and then launches up, right? I guess you could sell this choppy behavior up here, you know, on the 4-hour. I guess I'm definitely selling, not trading this instrument, but if I did, I have a sell limit there where his stop's at. Okay, Australian dollar's going up, and so looks like they're going to take out those highs, and here comes the, and this is why it's no need to trade all these instruments, because it's all about the dollar, right? So here's New Zealand going up against the dollar. Everything's going to go up against the dollar, right? Because the dollar's crap now. The dollar's garbage. I think even gold's going to go up. So we've got a double bottom in 4-hour gold here, and I think it's going to go challenge this this pivot here, this big floor that we took out, which once this becomes a role reversal point, this triple bottom, you know, counting this guy, this one, and this is the top. Once that fails, this guy's going to launch up, come back here, and then it's off to the races, right? And then it's just going up, up, up. It's going at $10,000 an ounce. I'm just kidding, but I do think it's going to take out this trend line and challenge this trend line that goes back quite a ways on the on this 4-hour chart. You know, that's going to go challenge that thing. Okay, so I'm slightly long the euro, coming up into all these sell orders, and yeah, I want to finish off the week here with some money, and I just don't see why you'd want to step outside the euro, right, for trading purposes. I know a lot of people, they're going to trade 24 currency pairs. I just don't get it, right? You know, if you just put different clothes on, you know, I had a buddy that his girlfriend got boring, so what he started doing was buying her wigs and having her put on immense amounts of makeup and dress up like a schoolgirl and all that stuff. And I thought, well, there you go. That, I mean, why get a new wife when you can just get a wig for your old one? And isn't that the answer? Imagine you're trading the Australian dollar. You could be trading the euro. Imagine it's gold. All markets are the same. They all behave the same. They've never changed over time. It's another myth. There's so many myths. It's just a pile of myths, right? There's the 4-hour structure, breakout, pullback. You wanted to buy like crazy today on this. Plus, it was fair value. It was a matter of just the patience to wait for these things to unfold and happen. And I think that is an issue. The waiting, you know, the waiting's the hardest part. That's what Tom Petty says. And let me just change the color of this line here. It's driving me crazy. I'm just gonna go yeller. All right, that's the turnaround point. I think I said I'd make that white, and the other one's black. So I guess I could do that. I'll make this one black. If I make this big black line and make this on wicks only, and then make this one white and make this on close only, and then build a structure on this. I've never done it before, but it sounds like a good idea. I mentioned it in the last video, and so that way it would look more like when you queued up all these lines. I'd make this one white too. So if this one's white, and the black line would be the for all the highs and lows, all the wicks. So if you put it there, and you're gonna box it in like that, you drag that to every wick, so you can see the kind of the volatility structure, and I'm sure you get there's probably an indicator that could do it, but those are the prominent ones. And then you just connect the dots, or connect the white line to the white, so you have white on white. And same thing horizontally speaking. If you drag this to all the peaks and valleys, right, it should only take you a couple seconds to identify that. There's the double top. That's the pivot. There's the here's one bottom. Here's that internal bottom that became the reversal window. So that was definitely the window for the reversal. And on the upside, on the trend line to break, here is the 1, 2, 3 touch, breakout, come back into a double top right at this confluence point, then spills down through the floor, ricochets back up, finds support here. Now we're looking to go long on the, we're long from here to here. We could take profits there. We could reload the wagon on the pullback into fair value, which might happen by the time London opens. We also have that that point there. So maybe that's a little clearer view. Let me turn off the trades so you can see more clearly just the pure all the stuff I drew. And of course I would have to turn off the grid too. Take out these indicators. This 50 pips. That's all I've got is 50 pips. So the rest of it's pure price. And let's go full screen on that. Yeah, so that's what that looks like. And then I guess that looks like a big mess, but it's the truth of what's really happened, like it or not. I got 3 marching soldiers up there. So here's where we're at. We're down in this zone, and when we zoom out, you can see how this keys beautifully off of that back there. So this is definitely the sweet spots, or what some people call harmonics, but it's not harmonic in the sense of some, it's more harmonic like staggered, kind of like a, guitar magnets. If you've ever seen an old Stratocaster guitar, the pole pieces on the magnets are staggered. I always thought that when I first was playing a Stratocaster, I thought, well, boy, this is a bad job at the factory. Some of these pole pieces are taller than the others. I guess they were trying to emphasize certain strings and the way it sounded. Okay, here comes the pullback. So I'm definitely the buyer on pullbacks here. I'm slightly long, but I'm really gonna rape these accounts tonight, because the end of the week's coming. I kind of want to clean up and do some revenge trading, another myth. Don't jump back on the horse. But they have these tips. I see all these tips people are posting. I joined this Twitter thing. I see all these stuff people post. It's so adorable, stuff like top 10 tips for trading. Don't trade during the news. Well, if you don't know how to do it, don't do it, right? This would be like, don't date Japanese girls unless you know how to do it. So don't do all these things, and it's just kind of ruining the fun for trading. Don't move your stop. Well, if you're in a half a K, right? Why not? But certainly don't want to turn a scalp into a position trade that loses 5,000 pips. But why not, right? You only live once. But the typical, the one pattern we can almost count on is that when they go up here like they just did, and they make a new high, they're probably going to pull it back on that 5 minute, and then you want to go long, maybe here. But it doesn't mean you can't short into that. So, but I'm going to go long. Right, so this was the pullback. It looks like we're going up now. So now I'm jumping on the long train because it looks like we're just going to sneak across the border tonight like an illegal alien. We're just going to go right through here. We're going to go zooming up, and even the Australians probably think that was good news tonight, and they're right to the border. So I'm going to try to, unfortunately, have to buy at the market now because that's the breakout, and it's no fake out. It's a real breakout. It's really going up. It's a delayed reaction, whatever you want to call it. I certainly wish it would have gone up earlier today, but it had to come back so it could go up. It had to come down and find buyers. It had come down, and plus we had to chop off these people's stops on the 4 hour. Because then I'm long, and so I'm long from there. I've been trading it long. This is 4 hours, so I jumped off. But look at this. Look how consistently smooth this 1 hour. Just in this, the market does. The market did this the other night, actually, on close 2 nights ago. After it went up, after the session closed, it never looked back like here. It only paused here and just kept going up. Okay, so I'm going to stay long here and ride it for another 20 pips north, and I'm going to sell up into that when it gets up there. So I'm trading it both ways, both directions. And we just have to wait for that to happen. But I'm going to go make some more coffee because I think that's the only thing keeping me from committing suicide is coffee, honestly. And with Starbucks raising the price of their coffee, I would love to look at their stock because it's probably forming a nice head and shoulders, ready to sell it. Just the most pompous people, too. I mean, I love when they had that thing like, come in and discuss, come in and discuss racism with us. All right. Sure. Any particular ethnicity? Okay, I turned off all my orders here, so it looks kind of funny to me, but I mean, I like to see all these orders in the market. It's a real ego boost to think that brave enough to put all these orders in here. Okay, this looks like a psycho explosion, man. And thank God the Greeks are leaving the euro, I think. So the euro can just launch like a balloon after being depressed for, only about like how many months here, right? So we got a triangle forming on the monthly, right? I gotta test out some new coffee I just bought. It's called Justice Coffee. That's they call it Justice. It's supposed to have vanilla in it. It's supposed to be yummy. I don't know, Justice. It's kind of a little bit too new agey kind of title to it, but look at this monthly triangle on the euro dollar, and golly, maybe wow, break out, find support, now up. Anyways, up tonight for sure. Total bullish up into all this stuff, and then I play the reversal, so I'll try to get this account up to $1 million. That's my big goal. I don't know if I could do. I don't know if my orders are big enough to do it. Okay, it's time for some of that. What's that stuff that I don't know who invented coffee, but what a great idea. Alright, I'm buying the pullback here on this demo. I'm buying right in here, the sweet spot. Now, this is the perfect fit script for this pullback. These last for about an hour. So I could see this as being nice coverage right here. Buy limits only. I'm slightly long this thing. I'm at $9,000, and I really just want to clean up tonight. So I made a whole pot of coffee. I'm just going to sit down and scalp this damn thing. Because pretty much the way I look at it is how dare they move this all over the map. I mean, make up your mind, right? So we're all the way back to this top again, and we're just caught in this brutal range. And I think it's going up. So I'm buying on mini pullbacks, and I'm going to try to be conservative now. I'm only in $1,600 margin, so I don't want to get into that rough territory. If I ever take on $50,000 of margin and risk 25% of the account, I want to be able to triple that. So make triple that 25 to make 75,000. But right now I'm being forced to buy at the market just because it's on this tear, and it's on this ridiculously smooth trajectory, price pulse here. And we could almost get one of these balanced moves, total balanced move, where it come up to this as the target, and then comes flying back off of that. But this is one of those steep panic squeeze runs to the top of the range, and then maybe have to sell up here. So I guess I'm going to sell anything above that yellow line. And I've never been able to get filled on these. Unfortunately, the market hasn't met my price criteria of buying the very edge of that. But we could get it tonight just because it's the end of the week, and here's the 4-hour world is already going after this. So this may be the first leg in the 4-hour stairway. From here to the highest close in here, and that takes us up to somewhere here, which seems doable because they want to go after the, that's the hunt. So we take out this fractal, rip back, go up. So I figure if we go up here and come back off of that, right, and just put a ton up in this no man's land where it could just turn around on a dime and come flying back like it did last night on this this whole come all the way back. So the problem is the market's constantly changing its pace, and these drift ups are just it's a 5-minute stairway here, so there's plenty of chances to reboard the wagon. Pretty simple stuff, I think, but I guess we could push it and go into this middle of the road area, the split the difference in half. So yeah, possibly come up to that. This is certainly the 110. Usually overshoots the runway. Touch the top of this 5-minute channel. Scalp out of that, and then of course top of the hour just came and went. And maybe there's a little follow through here on the 1-hour bars. So we got this nice even. If you're going to cue the 1 hour with the 5-minute. So you have this just perfect channel. You also have this perfect, too perfect, the trend line. Almost just too perfect. So maybe we climax up into that, bounce ricochet off the top of that, just above the 5 pips above. And if I get in on the right amount of depth on the top side, time-wise and depth-wise, I'll maximize that reversal. So if I'm long going into my targets, which are now going to be reversals, so I can get the benefit of both moves. So that's really what the market's really punishing people. It's like a karate punch, that where not only do you punch in, but you pull back so quickly that's also the shock. So that's what the market is. The market's like being punched. So I'm just going to get out here, scalping out of this thing. I think it could come ripping back. So I'm going to wait till midnight. Maybe we're up. By that time, we're up here on the top of this, up back into that price. I don't know, it looks pretty crazy on this one. This 30-minute looks just too perfect. So that's probably not going to hold much longer. And we're already back to where the whole week started. So it's a giant hammer. You're going to end up with a hammer of some type on the weekly. And the hammer is really just I suppose, inverted head and shoulders. So we chop off the lows here. We get there's the body, the hammer, and then there's the handle. Or I guess it's like a nail. You know, it's like a spike. And so, yeah, we trapped in that, and God, it's just... I think this was the best trade of all for the bounces lately. But look at this rally here. It's just amazing. Amazing. The dynamics are just unbelievable. It's just crazy. But we still got these holes to fill on the north side possibly, and if not, it's just got to go down here and go to and once if we ever take this out, it's going to be a real fast and dirty ride back into that. So, but for the moment, I'm long just because, or I'm long with a short intention, 60 pips north. So. Go back to this demo and see if I can't get this thing up to $1 zillion here. I guess I'm going to have to pay attention to the angle of this 5-minute channel and try to get the sweet spot up here for the best possible reversal and spread them out across the these stairways. Now it looks like it is topping out for just a tad, and now I'm looking for the 30 pip raid by the bears any moment. I guess I'm always expecting the worst every moment. Like, look at this thing just cut through and rip back. I mean, that's a 20 pip rip back. I mean, come on, those are just amazing wedges. 5-minute chart, you know. Certainly more, at least certainly you can, it's a little more work than, but it just seems less risky. I mean, can this market spike up 40 pips in an hour? So if I put a 3-hour order up here, or if this order here lasts, say, an hour, that'd be amazing. Market spike up there and go up that many pips. It's coming back. I mean, look at this thing come back off that top. How many times does that happen? All the time. Maybe just me, but look at all this spasticness. There's got to be a way to make money from that other than running a moving average on this thing and looking for the trend trade. I guess they happen. If you got the right moving average on the right day and the right instrument, sure, you know, I guess that's with the 100th monkey theory, right? But if you're just trading sheer hardline entry, just pick the rollover point, the crossover. It's like if you're going to build a speaker cabinet, you're going to have to figure out if it's a two-way system or a three-way, or it's just going to be one, right? So if it's one, just unified driver, full range. Or if you're going to get all crazy, I guess the guys that are trading LA Wave would be trading like the electrostatic speakers, right? They're into like, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm running 4 ohms and I'm sorry I blew up your amplifier. But I'm looking at more like it's a momentum, it's like you're tracking a bouncing ball, what the possible next bounce plane would be. So you're speculating on that. And you just have the horizontal speculation, which has really no time to it. I guess it's timeless. I mean, it's revisited in time, but it's timeless in the sense that these kind of say, well, you know, you're going to want to buy here on this day, whereas this really doesn't care. This is kind of just not as much money because there's no angle to it. There's no trend to it. There's no like you can't get the C wave and the 3 wave out of it because you can't get the initial you know, if you're going to run moving averages, if they were adapting to volatility, that would be one thing, right? But that's really what a trend line does. It's auto adapting. It's manually auto adapting. I guess you could you could get a computer to do it. I haven't found the thing that I can get to draw the trend lines on close, but if anybody's got that code, you know, certainly feel free to post that. That would make it a lot easier if you could just have this. If there's an indicator out there that would just attach to close, I suppose you could create one. But that would certainly save a lot of agony, because I know they make it for the highs and lows, but it's also, you can't tell it to just come back to here. It's hard to tell a computer, okay, this is the head of the shoulders. I mean, by that time you just do it yourself, right? Here's the shoulder, head, shoulder. That's the velocity out of that trap. And so here's, like, say your buy limit's right here, right? Because that's the top that became a bottom. But that's like 80 pips deep. But not to say you can't get there in the morning. Certainly, if it's down there, you're just buying like there's no tomorrow. And I guess not much left in the week here, unfortunately. But if you're gonna trade around this area here, right, high probability entry to get in here. If it pulls back 30 pips, I'm definitely buying. Like, I'm seriously gonna sell my neighbor's home and tell him that I'm gonna put his money to good use, because I'm gonna get long the euro, because Greece is gonna bring out their own currency, and so the euro's gonna finally be free from the dungeon of doom of people living freewheeling, you know, just living a fantasy life of so much damn money. This is another thing. I guess it's more like a GAN style approach. If you could just, and it's hard to tell the robot to just keep hanging it here, but if you just keep hanging it here, now you drag this over and you'll see it just keep perfectly off of this this double top, right? So this double top with this, and this is the bottom. Now it's a little more, it's a little bit more like a compass, and you just keep you keep the needle here, and so you're going to copy another version of that and grab and drag it to here, and you've got that window, right? So it ricochets here, but then you have no points for the next you know, just swing it up here to this one, right? So you're just keying off the very tippy top now. And you've walked all the way up and retested that, and let's say we're pulling back. Okay, now I'm looking at a buy on the 5 minute now. Right here, we just pulled back. Possible entry here on these double top with the triple wicks there. And this is it's not the worst spread on this broker. It seems to be tradable if you're going to get in down here where it's cheap. So if it pulls back there, so here it's tempting to load up on some buy limits. But this is becoming worrisomely too it's like I said, it's just too perfect a stairway to walk up. I think it is just, it's almost like you just got to pull back. I mean, it's too good to be true. So this is getting old already, this 5 minute trend line. But I could be wrong. But I'll definitely be buyer on the plunge and seller on the spike, irrational exuberance. And as time goes on, I would just put more orders down here. Higher probability that there could be a smash back below that, or at least to this. So I'm just going to stay up and babysit this strategy here of getting in. I'll just keep reloading the gun here, or reloading the minefield for the pullback to this point. So this has been a range trader's dream this week, and trend traders are just wondering if they should have changed the ratios on the robots. But this has just been the wow, consolidation station lately. After this big spike down and run up, we're in Boredomville. I'm looking for a 30 pip pullback maybe to get long, or just sell up here. I mean, right? I mean, what other trade is there? I don't know. Market's just a mess, really, all day long. You know, it's really like a inkblot test in a way. I suppose you're just gonna see what you want to see. I guess I can't get over this break that we've had, but I can always say, well, this is the new resistance, and sellers are going to come in up there. That's certainly going to be the big challenge if we can bust this trend line and just, this will be the new stairway to heaven. And what is this, the 1 hour chart? Just too boring for words right now, so I'm going to come back to it. In my mind, this is just too perfect. This is like the girl that doesn't have, she doesn't even have a family, for God's sakes. She's totally free. Okay, this is a 4, giving 4 opportunities for support and resistance, and then on the other way, on the other bias, the downside. And copy that out. Just clone that up. Speculate on a balanced move. Okay, give it some kind of possibility. It could come down into this, and then put these at the apex of these triangles. So you're going to build triangles into the future. Just put them right at the crossover or near it. Give yourself a window there, and then yeah, you're expecting it to climb this this grid. So I think it is going to possibly go up a little bit, so I'm not going to get too carried away, but looks like a buy here in the 5, so I'll buy a little bit. For the next, we're coming into the bottom of the hour, and yeah, Europe's going to open soon, and maybe they'll bid it through to a ridiculous climax up here, and then we break this trend line on the 30-minute. But I still think they're going to want to spike it beyond here, so I want to sell everything above that. So if I fall asleep for some reason, I capture that whole this giant rally that could be coming, and the ricochet zone's going to be off that double bottom on the daily. Is the big, so we have a quad internal quadruple bottom, I guess you'd say, if you count 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like a fair value pivot, and the down, this down guy, you gotta admit, definitely broke out. Not to say you can't break out, pull back, find support there again. But yeah, I don't know what's left for this poor euro this week. This was the killer entry on the pending to have the order on that 4 hour, which was the, I guess that was the opening on last Sunday. And so this is my big I'll buy tomorrow morning here again, if it comes all the way back to this. So you can just put it in now and walk away. Yeah, but so I rehabilitated this account from $480, so I'm trying to get this account back into rehab. It's kind of a clunky broker, and it's 4 digits, so it's kind of funny. It's kind of a weird feeling to trade 4 digits. Sometimes it's like country music. It reminds me of country music. Okay, this is the half hour, and here's that unbelievable perfect trend. Okay, I'm gonna put in these crazy deep ones. I don't know if there's any news coming out tomorrow, but I guess we're gonna find out. It looks like we stabilized here. One last rally, or was that it? It's like watching a fireworks show. You never know when they're done. It's like, oh, was that the finale? Oh, I guess they just ran out of... Okay, they ran out of fireworks, but I guess this is interesting. Overdid the projection on that, on the 5 minute. So maybe this will be the... and I guess if you hang it off of this, you blew through that one. So all the best case projections, other than maybe this one, have been met. I guess you could hang your hat on this back here. But this is just what an amazing market. Never ceases to become so geometrical and then just become a complete train wreck of explosion out of a quiet zone. Alright, well, it's boring as can be, so I'm gonna try to get this thing back to $6 grand from $400. And this I'm gonna try not to blow up this demo. So I'm like it's like going to an AA meeting. Right? That's what say AA meetings are good for. Okay, this looks like the entry to me, man, right here. Okay, I'm gonna get really crazy with some psychotic orders. I think we're gonna do one of these pullbacks of about 30 pips right now. It's got that terrible look to it. For the bulls, at least. If it pulls back into this thing, it would be just the... Okay, this would be perfect. Right here, it comes to this top. So you gotta come back 10 pips. So I'm going to try to get the perfect loading on this. And not overload it. And count on a bigger pullback than... I think we all could see that that was too perfect a walk up. And not to say this thing doesn't have another blast up left in it. So I think I'm just slightly long at 1600 margin. So I'm at 9 grand. And yeah, it's boring. It's boring, that's why I'm scalping. Right, so I'm gonna buy a little bit of the market here. I guess I'm gonna go with the flow. That's the current trend. And there's a... You can hang it off with this thing too. Just like this is the you know, as it's flipping, as the market's going up, it's got this under over thing. That's going up this cone. Maybe just get above that, get to 110.05, and I'll sell up here, right up into this. That's my thing. I must sell right up there. Alright, well, I'm just come back to this thing. We're waiting for, it's European Open. This is like the short squeeze into that, and maybe they're gonna pop through this top, and it's just gonna be ridiculously kind of the first attempt to get out of this range, break this top zone. It'd certainly be amazing if it ever came back there. I would certainly be a buyer. That'd be a no-brainer trade, and it's certainly there. Right, you could just bet. You could bet everybody's house in your subdivision on that trade. Tell your whole neighborhood as a structurally high probability trade. You know, just tell them you got to get in on this trade. But that was a nice 100 pip ricochet zone. I only wish I had the patience to wait for the setup. I mean, wait for it to get back to here. I just too eager for this euro to get back to the up, go up, I guess. So tonight, maybe 50 pips up, 100 pips back, then buy it for a 50 pip bounce tomorrow morning. Who knows? But for the moment, it looks like an explosion north, and then everybody dumps at 112, and gold goes up, and the stock market looks like it's all the way back to the sell zone again. So it's all the way back to this pivot again. But this could cut through. So everything could just change and go into complete sync with everything else. That's why I think correlations are pointless, because, in other words, why would you try to key your trading to another market? But it is good to look at what the other people are thinking. But I don't think I'd try to do this trade here, because I think it'd be a psychological conflict of interest to try to manage more than one instrument, right? Or even one time frame. It's bad enough there's all these instruments, and then you have to pick a time frame. Like, what's the optimal time frame? And that's when people have problems with these EAs. They gotta try to optimize them. So I'm just going to go with the kind of the swing trader's approach to scalping. Buy on these limits as the market swings down into unbelievable unfair value, and then dump, and then get back on the train and just try to get all the sizing right. Okay, one more rally maybe left in this thing. So I'm going to come back after we break this trend line on this perfect range trade, the range trade from the textbook. Okay, this looks like the pullback coming now, so I'm going to go this a 5-minute chart and try to let this come back into this buy order bank I set in here. So I put this thing pretty damn deep. This is insane deep, but this should be squirrely. Right now, the perfect half-hour trend line could be broken here. And this 5-minute we could get a plunge all the way down in here just for no apparent reason. And it would be a perfect cue point to, especially if you could get there really fast, if it came back to that, or even the last known breakout there. So it goes back into that little zone. So this is the fun part here, because this is like a Mexican standoff, in my opinion. Just this kind of are we going to go up before we go down? This is like when you're coming out of somebody's coming out of the store and you're coming in and they get right in the line of your fire and you're thinking, are there rules of the road for, I guess I'm just too impatient walking in the store, and I end up with a head-on collision with a couple, an older couple, and I was like, oh, I think I'm going to run somebody over. I just want to get in that store and get out. I'm just there for the trade. I'm not there to window shop. I want in and out. Okay, this looks like a buy, but I'm already slightly long. I'll buy one more for good luck. It looks like the perfect trend line, the perfect stairway is going to hold on the 5 minute. So I'm going to ride the stairway. We're flirting with the end of the stairway though here. Okay, so that'd be my current window. All right, well, I'm staying long here. Come back to this drama. It looks like the 5 minute traders are going to take the ball north here, so I got the monthly chart up here, and I got the 100 pip grid in the big bold, and I've got the baby grid is a 20 pip grid, and we're sitting in the middle of the first triangle, and we finally rested after all this grease, your ATM, blah blah blah, yeah, I don't know. I guess you just have to move in with friends, right? Okay, it's $1.10. $1.10.09 for the euro. It's like $1.11, right? So now what? Well, buy it when it goes down 30 pips, right? Does that sound like good advice? I guess it takes. How long does it take to get there? Gosh, if we could just fall apart right now on this perfect, ridiculously perfect. Like, isn't this bothersome? How long is this thing gonna just keep treading up this stupid trend line? I think it's baked. There's no way, right? Okay, here, right. Maybe you could go and crawl up into this cone here, right? There's a few more pips. Okay, let's just say it broke out. Okay, let's just say it's about to break it right now. So looking for the plunge. I've actually got a bunch of orders in here, so this is going to be a little dicey. I try not to overload it here. Now this is the demo. And we're still holding the this possible stairway here I built. Alright, it's always tentative. I'm not a big trend. I don't like trends so much because of this fact. It looks like it's always going to come to an end. It's like the relationship's going too good. Something bad's going to happen, right? It's going to turn out that it's not a real girl or something, right? It's one of those man boys or something. It never ends good, right? But yeah, I want to talk. I want to hook up with the 1 minute traders, right? 5 minute traders, okay. We're slicing it thin, but the 1 minute traders, might as well just trade the tick chart, right? Like here's your top, just became a bottom right here. Right? Isn't that? That's how I used to trade it. When I used to trade I would just go, there's my top bottom. I just bought that. But I try to take a back seat and look at the 4-hour charts now, right? Who wants to be coming here and punching these buttons all day long? But if you're going to get in psychotically deep, I mean, look at this damn weekly chart. Here's the monthly. Here's the 5 minute. But wow. Man. I don't know what to say. Look at the monthly chart on this damn euro. You've got to be kidding me. I mean, that to me is the biggest sell-off I have seen in any... Well, maybe this was pretty astounding. Look at the retrace on that. Now that's just an example of what happens on a 4-hour chart or on a 1-hour chart during the news. And that's just so amazing. Look at this bottom. Look at this thing come up to this wick and then rip back. That's the trade. Who's not buying this euro? Oh my god, look at this. Look how punished this thing is. Yeah, so the world's not coming to an end. Now what? How disappointing. All those people bought all those newspapers. So the euro stands its ground after. I don't have the total history of the euro here. Maybe I do. I mean, let's not forget, the euro's been down here, this triangle. Who's not got a penny to buy it at 90 cents? But yeah, that's quite the... Golly. What a trench. What a channel. Look at this thing. You've got to be kidding me. So we finally made it down here. After all that bullshit. Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm buying a little bit tonight, but I definitely say it's going to be some kind of next 5 years, isn't it? And I like the euro, you know, because I like that E. I'm really in love with the curve of that E. It's better than the Apple logo. It's better than the Westinghouse logo. It's better than anything that ever was. Like, I'm so sorry. Okay, we're still holding this damn trend line. I'm trying to make it break it, but I can't force it. I guess we're going to have to see what happens when the next round comes, so I'll come back to this ridiculous drama. Alright, here we come. One last blast up. And had to change the color of that rectangle. Here we are, hunting down this wick. Looking to step into the void. The void to the north. One last crescendo on the 5-minute chart coming into the apex of this nose cone wedge. This is the end of wave 4 of some type, right? All wave 4s end in a wedge, right? So it's either going to be 2-wave, 4-wave, or a B wave, right? Some corrective thing. A price pulse of some type. And gonna come up into this cluster. That head and shoulders. I'm gonna sell just above it. I'm gonna ride it long into the upper way the hell up here. where I think they're going to hunt all this stuff when Europe opens, and then maybe trade the pullback off of that. But yeah, this is just an amazing, perfect trend line. I just don't think it can last too much longer. Almost feel like that's it, so I'm gonna sell right now and sell into the spike, I would say. Actually, if it goes up, getting out of my winners. This, I know this is like just too symmetrical looking to me, but I guess I don't have the patience for trends to play out. But I'm still in the damn thing long because I'm just going with the trend. I highly resent the trend, but for the moment, I'm stuck in it. I guess I think the market's going to turn on me, so I don't want to be in it too long. Okay, well, I'm in this demo. Still long on this stairway. This seems to get a better price. Closes seem better on this. Okay. There you go. That's the trajectory nose cone of this puppy, but in the next 15 minutes we could stall out here and just spill out of that perfect trend line and just start wiping every bull out of this. So top of the hour is coming. It's another creeper gear relentless crawl to the top of the range here on the half hour. I'm expecting a climax into this nose cone I built, and I'm going to keep laying this order in as we approach the that window there. So that's my strategy for the next half hour. Okay, here it's getting all frisky here. It looks like they're going to take it up. Coming 10 minutes before the top of the hour, there's kind of a scramble going on here, and this is just amazing how this thing just keeps crawling up this creeper gear trend line, and I have to just sit it out as we approach this apex. And yeah, hopefully it's just going to do something more exciting than just crawl up this. I'm not a big fan of this trend stuff, crawling up here. So looking for the climax to happen and get a quick and dirty smash and grab. I'm just a big fan of this thing. Down 20, up 60. Down 20, up 60. Right? I mean, oh my God, right? I mean, even if you started buying here, like even if you started buying here today, which I didn't buy that, I bought fair value, and I bought all the way to here, then I bought all the way to here, and then here I took my $400 account back up to about $1,000. And this same pattern happened the other night, where it goes up and it just never came back. It just kept going up like this. Just insaneville, right? And here we are again. Like this is the cup. Okay, and I think it's going to pull back. No, this is fragile. So I'm going to take whatever profits I got. I'm getting out right now. I think we've reached the climax of this thing, and if not, well, at least I'm out, right? At least I'm not going to be exposed to the heartache and the fact that, yeah, turned out that, you know, I mean, yeah, she had a pre-existing condition, and she was a psychopath. Forgot to tell you. Yeah, I like when your friends hook you up with, oh, I know, I got a girl for you. Yeah, I know this girl. Yeah, she's got a bone through her nose, you know, she's got a nose ring. She's got a chain coming out of her ear, connected to her armpit. Yeah, I'll hook you up. Love that, right? Okay, well, this is just so crazy resistance, but this is almost like the challenge that seems to be up for it tonight. This perfect, just amazingly flat line, straight up. And this is the one that people would have an oversold on their oscillators, and they'd be selling that actually. You can imagine how overbought at this point. Probably going to be divergence coming in too pretty soon in the next half hour. So I guess I'll have to wait that one out too. So if something more exciting happens, I guess I'll look forward to a plunge into this double top again. Or anything below that I'm going to buy like there's no tomorrow. I'm just going to really go nuts buying. Hour, top of the hour, and it's still going up this damn trend line. So I'm totally out of this damn thing because I don't trust it anymore. It's too perfect, the trend line. And I'm still slightly in on this demo, I think. Okay, this is the moment of truth. I think my clock's right. Coming near the top of the hour. Right, coming to the borderline. And, wow. Just silly. Looking for it to sell off though. Any second. Just come flying back. I guess I can't believe it hasn't happened yet, but it looks like they just want to spike it for 20 pips here. So I'll take any winners I got off the table now. Selling really heavy up on the north side. Let's see what happens. Yep. That's boring. Okay. So I'm going to buy in the pullbacks now. If it comes back here when Europe opens. But I'm at $10,000. I made it to 10 grand. I'm still in about $700 of margin, so I could still get obliterated a little bit. I could still lose about 2 grand, I guess, if something went terribly wrong here. But I'm trying to grid trade it from the northern and the southern side right now, and just trying to be like, I don't know if you ever played against a backboard tennis, but you know, when you're a kid and you don't have any friends, you're going to go play with the backboard. And you immediately realize that the ball's too fuzzy, it's too new. And, but if you could be fast enough to run back and forth and hit the ball back to yourself, that's what I'm trying to do with these trades, is like put all the sells where the backboard is and put all the buys where the backboard is. And go in both directions. Okay, so I'm going to take this winner off the table and whatever's in this thing. So the jig could be up here as we climax into this end zone here. So I'm trimming out my winners and I'll reduce my exposure here. I think I'm actually still short something, believe it or not, from earlier. But I don't want to check too hard. I guess when I trust that I did the right thing as far as the stops. But yeah, see, now I'm stuck short. But with tight stops, I should be okay, because I'm not going to sell until it gets into this bluish area. But that could take another 2 hours to get up there. What I really want to do is buy this pullback that I think is going to happen right now. Just from the 2 perfect, the trend line on that 5 minutes. So the 5 minutes backing off, and here is the 2 perfect half hour now. And this is too good to be true. Maybe pulls back to this. A subtle comes back into this, right? The other possibility is swings back to this rollover handle, or this one. So give it a whole. It's got the whole European Open to end up on these like Gan fan entries, and you know, you're right up against this, the horizontal now. This amazing. What an amazing retrace. And look like it's just itching to just stop that wick right now. Amazing. Okay, I want to sell it when it gets up there. And just walk away from this thing. Go get some this is a 20 pip grid here, so I'm going to put all my orders based on this 1 hour chart. Now I'm going to go to this 1 hour thing and try to place a trap up here, price trap. Could be an amazing close to the European market where it fills this hole, but then it rejects it. And then I want to buy if it comes down here again, back to the this double top, which is only 20 pips below. So this is gonna buy tighter than that. So this is an over-eager entry, but this would be the conservative entries to get in on this double top on the 4 hour. If you missed the long train, which started way back here, the 4 hour train, the train station's about 20 to 40 pips deep. So I'm going to put these guys in 40 pips deep. And then try to not trade at the market. Not get too excited about this this target here. So yeah, it's going up this big wedge here, and I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to see that. There's the tippy top. Just can't believe it hasn't pulled back yet, but it's alright. Just gonna trust and believe in my trade plan. I guess this is the hard part about trading, being not in the market during a move that I guess a quiet walk up here was a safe bet, and just crawling out of a hole there, and maybe just walks through here. Just amazes everybody by never having never giving anybody a chance to get on the train or make you feel like that. Certainly on the 15. Okay. Sitting right at the round handle now. And wishing and hoping, fingers crossed, for a big giant sell-off right now. And get filled on these retest orders. So I need to get this account back to, because I'm going to need this money to buy stuff. I have to get a new this and that. I'm selling everything, buying everything. Just trying to keep the inventory going. Okay, here comes the heartbreaker for the bulls. Okay, we climaxed into the nose cone here, and I'm going to come back when we see how this triangle resolves itself. This is the demo. Now it's just up to the market to go into Spasticville. It's just too quiet, too long, and too cone-shaped. Still going up. It's still a buy. Slight pullback. I guess still kind of a buy, but holy mackerel, really, people? Is this how it's gonna be? Really? Just finally going just slightly up now. Oh, can't take it. Getting another rally off this trend line. Of course, it's kind of breaking the trend line a little bit now, but this looks like the moment of truth here as we roll over. Keep coming over this half hour pivot, squeezing up into the tippy top of this whole range now. Looking to make a run across the border, sneak across the border here. Gotta hold that line. But the air's getting kind of thin up here. I think wait any moment for the pullback into here. So we're definitely inching up this cone wedge. Guess I just have to wait that out. Gonna sell if it goes up there, and same thing here, a perfect 15-minute. I got the 1 hour and the 15 sync together here. Try to cue that up pip-wise. Okay. Just waiting for the sell-off into the opening to buy more here. Just punched through the high of the day by about a half a pip here, and we've reached the apex of this wedge and kind of been slightly broken the downside trend line of that. I'm still looking to sell. The market's been going like for very quiet. It's very dead. Stuck in about a 10 pip range here. So I really want to buy this pullback in here, or a kind of a if it can rally and spike up here. So yeah, it's been going up this perfect trend line. Looking for that blow off top, I guess. There's the 4 hour. Pretty boring. It's not moving, so I think I'm just gonna go get something to eat and come back. Hopefully by then we'll be going up here and scaring all the bears to death. So the bulls are going to run into the bear camp there on the north side. Alright, we're hunting down this top here. I think I just picked up a couple shorts up here. So we're just about 5 pips from the high. Still climbing up this perfect 5 minute. We just came outside the edge there, so I shorted it on pendings. Now I'm looking for the rip back possibly. First we got to take out this, and this big run just started just before the top of the hour, about 2 minutes ago. Took off. So here's the big moment of truth. That's the 4 hour target. I'm looking for a pullback. So I got short on a little bit there. And just short on a little bit. Really want to buy the pullback all the way down to here again. May not get it, but got some shallower orders in here. And this demo is slightly short. I think it's going to go up and nick the top of that. We could get quite a bit of follow through on that. It'll be taking out the high of the week, going after the mid high of the week here. Next target. So this would be the shoulder, and here's the head. This is the head here. Looking just to get up, sell the top of that channel. So that's the price target I put on this 4 hour. I get up in there and start selling as soon as we go up into this breakout zone. Okay, just a couple pips from taking out that wick. There you go. What a surprise, just as you come into the European Open. Pretty dumb luck there. But the amazing climb up this 15-minute chart never took out that trend line. Okay, so I put all my sells in here now. And okay, on the top side here. And as we go up into the heavens, I want to sell. About 5 pips from taking out that wick. May not make it. May just fall apart before we get there. If that's the case, I want to buy these pullbacks, so we'll see what happens. Okay, well I got short into that. Just as we just nicked that by 10 pips, and the sellers typically come in on that 5 minute, pull back to the support zone. Maybe it's time to go long, but this is just really a scalp off the treetops here. As we came up here, grabbed all those orders. This pullback may not last that long, so it's kind of it's only been 5 minutes. Here comes the top of the hour, and but yeah, that's how that thing ended up climaxing, and it's right up into this channel. If you draw a channel here, you see that it just almost hit that top part. Here comes the top of the hour, so we could just a spike up, but currently short. And then if it comes back below, I'm going to buy it. So I'm trying to trade it from both directions here. Okay, here comes the top of the hour, and some market's opening somewhere in the world. All right. That's just how that is. After they break it out, they pull it back typically. Right up against the top of that 4-hour channel. Okay, here's where I usually get out. Just done that pullback right there for this first scalp. Got about 30 seconds here. About right here, just take this off the table. So just trade that wick, and then I guess it's not letting me out of anything. I actually could be in a hedge, I don't know. It says I'm up in profits, but it doesn't seem to want to take anything off. Yeah, some reason that hotkey wasn't working. So we have to wait for the okay, so they're at the top of the hour's in. If it's a real breakout, let's go to pull back one more time, but it's too choppy up here. I'm gonna buy when it tanks now. Just gonna buy in the tank job. This broker's slow. Okay, I'm just waiting for it to go up again one more time, and if it can go up further here, fill all this stuff. Either that or I'm gonna be like this, buying it coming back to earth. So to cover all my bases. For two scenarios, it's either going up or down. But that was quite a nice high probability scalp. And now we just got to maybe go up one more time, tag that, and rip back. So if I put my orders just above the last known high, I'm just going to load this thing up. So it's the same thing on the this corner of the market there, both sides towards the middle. Yeah, for some reason that's not working. That hotkey is supposed to be Control P. Huh? Oh well. Okay, looks like we're gonna go up again. So cha-ching and reload on the shorts. This one hasn't got filled yet, and this one's got a pile up here. So I'm gonna put them really high up there, in case I fall asleep waiting for this whole thing to play out. All right, well, there you go. Now we're waiting another 4 more hours of craziness coming now.